Hi, if you're new to my channel, just know that I'm about to share my feelings in this video. So by the time you watch this video, I'm already anxious about being perceived. So let's just get into this video. Moving to Paris 7 months ago was one of the best experiences of my life. I spent 6 months trying to improve my French and trying to move out of the state that I go to law school. And at the beginning, I was like, all right, Danielle, you're in Paris. Like, you need to become French.
Bitch, you knew I'm French.
And I did, okay? I got a French phone number. I had French friends. I had French Black friends. Like, I was really trying to integrate myself. I even lived in an apartment that was way too expensive and way too small, with walls that were way too thin. And look, I even complain like a Parisian. Like, I've become French. As soon as I got to Paris, I stepped out of my itty bitty comfort zone and I started making memories and met people who I care about so deeply. And I think the pandemic forced a certain type of closeness or dependency because we all wanted to either keep our circle small or we didn't really know that many people when we were in Paris. But who's to say, you know, a lot of the people that I met when I went to Paris were also just coming from their hometowns or the current cities that they were living in, and Paris just happened to be the destination. But speaking of my itty bitty comfort zone, I am a bit disappointed in myself for not pushing myself to do the one thing that I really wanted to do while I was in Paris. I took so many pictures and videos on my DSLR camera and my iPhone, and I barely posted on social media. I would post on my stories. I had like a few photos, but I barely posted. Like, I barely updated people on what I was doing. I barely shared any personal reflections. And I had an idea of how I wanted my time in Paris to go. And when it didn't go any way that I expected it to go, and I kind of liked how things were going unexpectedly, and I wanted to kind of use YouTube as a personal reflection or a visual diary, and I didn't do any of that. And I'm trying not to beat up myself about it because it was a lot that I was processing, there was a lot that I was going through, and there was a lot that I was managing while I was in Paris. So honestly, the mere fact that I was able to even do law school while I was in Paris, or to just even make it day by day, was brave enough. And I think the reason that I didn't push myself hard enough is because I let my inner critic be my voice of reason. I've internalized so much bad messaging about myself, and I have so much insecurity and shame about putting myself out there for the internet to see, that I choke at the possibility of doing well. And I know that sounds like paradoxical, but hear me out. There were times that I'd put a ton of effort into making videos and wanting to upload them, and then I get anxious about the idea or the possibility of being perceived, and I just scrap the whole idea in the first place. I would never let my potential shine. Like, I had no idea if I would succeed or fail, but I was failing by not giving myself that possibility. My excuse was that it's hard to be present while I'm in France and recording YouTube, and I don't really have time for all of this, and it was too hard to manage my schedule. I could have made time for what I wanted to, because I did make time for what I wanted to. But honestly, I really feel as though I couldn't be vulnerable. I was watching a YouTube video by Maddie Dregsbeck. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing her name correctly, but her video was talking about how on YouTube it comes with a certain amount of vulnerability because you're basically sharing your opinions with strangers. And whether your opinions are good or bad are relative to whatever context, but sharing your opinions with strangers still requires some form of bravery. You know, if I put effort in, you know, I want to be rewarded. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. But before, I wanted to present this perfect, polished image of myself, and I had no idea how to be truly vulnerable with anyone Really, like, I know it sounds scary, lonely, but vulnerability with strangers comes easier when you're truly vulnerable with the people that you're closest with rather. Even admitting that I'm scared right now requires some level of vulnerability that doesn't come easy to someone who has raging imposter syndrome. But by pushing through that fear and recording this video, I think I'm learning to listen less and less to that inner critic. It's like that little devil on my shoulder, you know, it was telling me this is too hard, or your opinions are shit and no one will really care what you have to say. And I was so afraid of the potential nasty comments, the potential failure, the potential backlash, but all these potentials that I thought would happen, that I imagined were true or would become true, had never actually happened, and there was no evidence that they would happen or that they are happening. These are all things that I had imagined, these are all things that I had thought that were the worst things that could happen. But even if they were the worst things that could happen, by not starting, I had already failed. And that's what I meant when I said that I was afraid of doing well. I was already failing by not starting and being consistent. And I had never asked myself, what if I did well? Because it was always unknown. I have no idea what will come if I do well. But only good things can come with doing well and having a successful YouTube channel, so somehow I'm afraid of good things happening to me, and I guess that's what they call imposter syndrome. I already said that before, but when things could be going well for me, I tend to think that the worst could happen. But the worst could happen is that I don't have a YouTube channel. My life would not change. But my life would change if I had a successful YouTube channel. So why not? You know, I like doing this. I like creativity. I like exploring this whole world. Admitting that or saying that out loud even requires a certain level of vulnerability that I had to see modeled in people that I admire and love, and I had to model it to those people or to other people that I see or interact with in order to become that person, become more vulnerable, become more emotionally available. And yeah, y'all, it's been a year of realizing things. Kylie was a prophet, okay? Through all of this though, I'm realizing that a lot of my subscribers who aren't my family or my friends don't really know me, so I wanted to introduce myself. So if you're new to this channel or somehow you've been a faithful subscriber, my name is Danielle. I like to talk about a lot of things, but I think that I'm gonna focus this channel mostly on film and TV, popular culture, social issues, law school. I'm a little shy and I'm a little burnt out because of law school, but I'm here, okay? If you've made it to the end of this video, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram at Danielle Novelle. Click that little notification bell after you subscribe so you'll get a notification for next week's video, because I really think you're gonna like it. And always remember, it is our duty to fight for freedom. It is our duty to win. We must love and support each other. We have nothing to lose but our chance.
So long, farewell to you, my friends. Goodbye for now, until we meet.